Welcome to the Practical Pistol Show, gentlemen. My name's Ben. We're here to answer your shooting questions. On deck today, Mr. Burdat. Say hello.
What's up, guys?
And Mr. Nick.
Hey guys, back to more.
You guys, you guys are the most straight-laced people in the podcast lineup we have.
Go on, Hopkins, pretty straight list.
Yeah, well, you get a couple drinks to me, it gets a little crazy, but that's true of a lot of people, I suppose. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's get to the questions. That's what people like. Have you ever had a time during your shooting or training where you had to deal with tennis or a shooter's elbow? I currently switched over to single stack major for the season. I do practice with my single stack minor gun also, but that's set up the same as my major gun. The main question is, did you just push through it or slack off and rest some? I've also been exercising to try and alleviate some soreness. Thank you. Ugh. Nick, have you had some tendonitis going on at some point?
No, I've fortunately never had to deal with this on a serious basis. I've had a little passing soreness from time to time, but nothing that made me quit for more than a day or two.
What separates tendonitis from soreness? Because I've had a little bit of soreness too, but I don't know if it like rises to the level of tendonitis.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say. So yeah, I was classified as soreness for brief periods of time, relatively speaking. So fortunately cannot really speak to this in depth, but people that I've been close to that have had it, they've pretty much just had to stop for a little while.
Okay, well, Bertie, what do you think?
I've never had any, just like Nick, maybe some soreness, but never in the elbow area. I've had some pain in the fingers at some point with my support hand. I just try to stretch as much as possible and maybe go a little easy for a week till the pain goes out. But there have been really dramatic, like I'll warm up and it's going to go away. And I just keep on training. And it just went away after a point, after some time. So nothing major on my side.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've had, I don't know, intermittent soreness, I guess, a little bit, but sometimes that I thought like, hey, if I keep doing this, this will be, you would call this tendonitis, I think. Like I've had some of that. I got the what do they call it? Plantar fasciitis.
I don't know what that is.
That's the I think the tendonitis in your that you feel on your foot. I think that's what it is. I changed up shoes, changed up my thing, but I'm like getting better from it. It's just a matter of doing the right exercises with the affected area to recover from it. I don't think you want to stop activity. I don't think you do that. I think you continue the activity a little, not you don't go crazy. You still do a little bit, and then work on the therapeutic exercises. What do you do for tendonitis? Like you like squeeze a ball or some shit, something like that. I don't. It depends on where you've got it, but you do some therapeutic exercises, and it gets better. I mean, I think this is not an uncommon problem, but yeah, should be able to get through it.
Go find your doctor friend and ask him what to do. Yeah, just in general, times I have been hurt in other ways, my general opinion now is to listen to your body and don't overdo things that are going to get you hurt or continue to prevent you from healing.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I've made that mistake with other things before, just with tendonitis, and I wouldn't advise it. So
Yeah, when something starts hurting, I just kind of like I'm getting smart enough where I stop doing the thing that hurts as much. So then I like let my body recover, and then I can carry on. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think we have a lot to say about that one. Let's go to the next question. At what distances do you use a sharp front sight focus versus a target focus for the following: full targets, partial hardcover targets, and partial no-shoot targets? Oh shit, a detailed question. Alex.
I would say for a full target at around 20, 25 yards, I'd start using a front side focus. Otherwise, target focus and just like you explained a couple times, the closer you just aim through the gun and that's it. On a partial target, depending on what is the target, if it's a zebra target, the tuxedo type of target, hardcover, at 10 yards, I kind of want to see my sights align with equal lights with the front sight in between. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I know I over aim
Yeah,
most of
that's
the
what I'm saying.
times.
You're the most interested. So you are the most prone to over aiming
Yeah,
of anybody.
I do over aim a
So
lot.
I saw at Area 6 you had the most A's of anybody in the match. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's a problem for me.
Well, it's not necessarily a problem to have the most A's, you know?
No, but it's to the point that it slows me down where I could be going way faster just knowing that my fundamentals are strong enough to just
No, but
manage.
even that what people might pick up on is you're saying you don't get hard on the front sight until 20 yards, right? On an open
Uh,
target.
yeah, 15 to 20 yards.
All
I'll
right.
start to get like
And
a good
you
front sight.
are retarded accurate.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
mean,
just,
compared to other people.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I'll
No.
frequently have this conversation with people in classes, and it's like, if a target's at 10 or 12 yards, it's like, okay, like, how should we aim at this one? And pretty much everybody, and they're like, yeah, front sight. That's the way to do it, you know? But they're what people's tendency, I think, is to want to aim, is wanting to over aim a lot, you know?
yeah.
That's the tendency.
But what I do is I probably, because I aim the alpha. So, I mean, I get the blurry side pictures or whatever, but my sights are aligned. But I see the alpha zone and I aim that part. So I might just make the acquisition to the target a little slower, just be a little more visual patient to make sure I get my alphas. But yeah. So pretty sure it's over aiming, but yeah.
All right. Well, Nick, what do you think about this?
I think I'm a little bit different than a lot of people in this respect. So, just to be perfectly honest, what I do personally, if the target is beyond about 7 yards, chances are I am going to personally, I'll actually be focused on the front sight, and the variance will be more in like how much of the rear side am I looking for, and how much am I slapping versus pulling the trigger.
But you see
The,
your front
for
sight
me, very
clear.
much more. I do, yeah, yeah, I really do.
Oh,
Now, I may be seeing, it closer than that. I'll get into shooting through the gun a little more, especially with, if there's fast transitions involved. Um, but based on just listening to other people talk, I think that personally, I do actually more front sight focus than almost anybody.
doesn't seem like it slows you down a whole lot.
Um, well, it doesn't speed me up a whole lot either. But no, like I said, it'll be what I'm trying to
Word.
what I'm trying to change up on a harder shot is just the quality of the trigger pull and the quality of the overall sight picture more so than the actual focus on the front sight.
All right. Well, I'll put this in there. When you're thinking about this, it is also helpful to think about the circumstances when you're shooting. So, if it's a really low hit factor stage, you might be prone to aiming a little more. Or let's say you're shooting on the move, or it's a high hit factor stage, something like that. Tend to switch on more to target focus shooting and not see the sights as clear. I mean,
Hmm.
that's something you want to think about as well. So I mean, there are a lot of classifiers where the shooting is close, but it's going to be a lot faster than you might normally do. So that's something you want to have in your thinking as well. Is like, hey, like, oh, this is a classifier stage, so it's like it's not really going to benefit me as much to punch all alphas on El Presidente. It's not that helpful. So I could, really hammer down on this bitch if we go target focused. Yeah. Or if I'm shooting USPSA as opposed to IPSC, you know? What do you
Well,
think
there
about
you
that,
go.
Alex?
Yeah, totally. That's it. At Area 6, that was the main discussion. All the hit factors were 6, 7, and more. So it was all about like close targets, open targets, and it was all about hosing and
At Area
there was
6?
some yeah, there was some difficult shots, but at some eras like they had like a lot of close targets, then you move to the next position, another close target. So it was kind of fast shooting,
How
fast paced
hard was
shooting.
the hardest shot?
Maybe 15 yards, 20 yards partial.
So
Uh,
not that crazy.
Not that crazy.
I hate
No,
to tell you this, or maybe not hate to tell you this, but you haven't shot in the U.S. a whole lot, huh?
no,
All
about
right,
five
area.
matches.
Looking at Area 6, like at the, like I wasn't there, but I looked at the footage from it, and it's kind of like, yeah, that looks like more difficult shooting than a normal USPSA match.
Yeah.
But
Oh
for
yeah.
you, coming from Canada, you're like, yeah, it's pretty fucking easy.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of swinger. That was pretty cool. We I know you don't see those so often in the U.S.
Well, how many did we have at Nationals, Nick, last year? How many
I
moving
I hit
targets?
factors. Oh, I don't know.
No, how many swingers? How many moving targets?
Um, I don't know, 8, 10, something like that.
Yeah, not a lot of swingers. Was there really 8 or 10? That's
Well, they had
even
that
more
one
than I'm
stage
thinking.
with 2 or 3, right?
Oh yeah, forgot about that one.
I don't know, but if you added them up, they were all kind of concentrated on the last day for us. It seemed like um, we shot about 2/3 of the match with very little moving targets, if any.
Yeah.
Maybe 10's on the high side, but
The point is, Alex, USPSA tends to be a lot faster shooting than what you are uh, typically
Yeah,
accustomed to.
yeah. I need to practice the hosing stuff.
Yes, it is a particular skill. Nick, you're blowing my mind here when you're telling me that you front sight focus at like 8 yards.
yeah, if I that's just what I do. Man. Just I blow my own mind sometimes when I think about that, but it's I mean, it's what I do.
Are you really you're really quick at picking the front sight then, huh?
Um, yeah, I try to be. I mean, like I said, if I know I'm on target and I just haven't acquired the sight yet or whatever, and if I'm on a really close target, if I'm in the process of pulling the trigger and I know I'm there, and for whatever reason I haven't found the front sight yet, I'm not going to stop.
Huh.
Find it in that case for that one shot. But in terms of like shooting through the gun deliberately or on medium range targets, I don't do it. When I'm deliberately shooting through the gun, it's within 7 yards, and it's almost going to have to involve quick transitions where you just simply don't have time to refocus on the front sight.
Wow. Yeah. Well, with that, I think it's time to end. So thank you guys for coming on tonight. And listeners, if you have a question you'd like the answer to, go to bensticker.com. Send me your question. We'd love to answer it for you. Yes, thank you.